Hey, what's up, guys? So I want to talk about how you can mediate um, fake bills, right? Collecting fake or counterfeit bills. Is you decide to go to business, or you have a business, or anything related to selling a product or selling a service, and then you decided to collect or receive payment via cash, then you have to be aware of, if you're collecting cash, that you can receive fake bills. So a lot of businesses, especially micro businesses, they prefer not to work with cash. They actually only works via wire or Zelle, Venmo, or they only receive payment to card. So they get a some kind of card gateway to collect card payments, and they stay away from receiving cash just because of the same reasons, right? That I'm just talking about. That you can have to deal with receiving fake. So they are cashless businesses. Most businesses that don't receive cash, they'll have a sign, especially on the food truck. They'll have a sign say, "This is a cashless business," or "We don't have cash," or "We don't have change," or whatever the case is, right? So it is very important that you guys be aware of, like, if you decided to do a business with cash or no cash. If you decided to go with cash, then you have to put in place some kind of mechanism to um, to detect fake bills if that's the case, right? So some of the business decided to say, well, we're not gonna say anything bigger than, I don't know, $20 or $10, something around that line. Okay, that could potentially work, but that doesn't mean that you cannot get a $20 fake bill also, or a $10 fake bill. So that can happen as well. So, but yes, I wanted to share with you guys. So here's a fake bill, right? So here's a fake bill. I received this bill, and when I was collecting cash, and I was able to showcase or detect that it's fake, that the bill was fake. Actually, I took this to a bank, and I asked the bank, can please scan it and make sure that it's a fake bill, and they say, oh yeah, it didn't pass any of the standards. So if you look at this bill, it looks fake, smells fake. I mean, everything about it is fake, right? Looks fake, smells fake. Yeah. So you don't want to, whenever you see a bill that's kind of funky, especially like this one, you want to make sure that you have all the measurements of all the necessary um, systems in place to detect those. A lot of business, like I said, they go with cashless, or they receive no cash, and then that's fine. And then there's a small percentage from a business standpoint of transactions that are done um, with cash. So let's say 90% of your transactions from a business standpoint are going to be any type of card, right? And then this is a small 10% transaction. So some business, they rather lose that 10%, right, than deal with dealing with fake bills. If you decide to have a business or some kind of service, and then you decided to go with cash, then you got to make sure that you have all necessary measurements to detect fake bills in the situations, right? So you got to be prepared. So it better be prepared. So I'm telling you, just better be ready. If you're going to be ready, you can know that, some of the things that you can find on an actual bill from a fake bill, like this bill, they usually have a hologram in the inside. You can't see. That's another way to see it. Like, you go see through this bill, you can't see the hologram. Um, some business has a scanner that you can scan it. Something is the way you feel and touch the bill. Well, they have a different feel and taste and touch, right? This one feels like just a regular paper. Also, sometimes you can use this pen, right? And then you can go ahead and mark the bill, and it's a changed color, and it tells you it's fake. But that not always work, because some papers that are so good that they bypass the pen. But you can try that as well in different things. So what I'm saying with that is, like, it's very important that you take the measurements, or be on the lookout for things like that. There's not always going to be people that have the best interest on your end. It happens to me, it can happen to you, and I don't want that to happen to you, anyone, right? I don't want that to happen to any friend of mine, to any business of mine, to anyone. So you always want to be on the lookout. So if you ever there's still people out there that want to do bad thing for others, right? And if that's the case, you gotta take precautions. So like I said, to sum up, if you decided to have a business or any type of service and you're collecting cash, make sure that you have all the different methods that you can use, from your personal training to your employees training, to be able to collect cash. And at the same time, you have all the different type of either hardware or things that requires to be able to check bills to make sure those bills are not counterfeit, right? If you decided to go with no cash, there's just a small percentage there. It could be between a 10 to a 5% that you might lose of sales because you're not taking cash, and that's if you're fine with that, and then go with that route as well, and then just focusing on doing car only business, car only transactions, and that's fine with you, and then you avoid collecting cash, and you don't have to deal with a whole cash situation. So that's my advice. I just wanted to share that with you guys. And there's a quick little story there at the end also that I'm going to share before I let it go or end the video. Is that there was a situation where I was confronted with people trying to pay for products using fake bills, right? And I already had the system in place. So it's very important for you guys when you start in a business or service. Like I said, make sure you have all these things in place before you start. That way you don't get caught up in that same situation. All right, my friends. So love you guys. See you guys in the next time, and that's it. Yeah, bye.